Greetings all, greetings, greetings. Those of you who have never been on my channel before, welcome. And this is basically for new people. Not that others will not be gaining any insight or information, you know, because we all learn. Me, I'm always learning things, and it's mostly I took the advice of others and I try to learn from the errors that I see. And I hope you will also do the same thing. Not that you're not supposed to try things yourself, but when you're going to do something that you're not familiar with, always do your research. Always do your research. And that includes those of you who are going to make that life-changing decision and take the journey to Africa. Actually, taking the journey to anywhere in the world, because I would advise any man of African descent to travel. And when you travel, don't get blinded by the things that you hear, you know. My first trip to Paris, I went with the state of mind that it was the greatest thing, the greatest city on the planet. When I went to England the first time, I was still dealing with the English education and how great Grand Britannia was. You know? When I came to Africa, I was dealing with the Tarzan syndrome. When I came to Asia, it was a different story because I talked to other black men who have been here. And they gave me a pretty good idea of what to expect. And they weren't very far off. Even though things are changing here, it's still somewhat close to what it was when these guys were here. I was going to say during the wars, but the wars are still going on. And now the wars are even more deadly. And wow, I just look at these so clean. They're not shooting people mostly now, but economics is killing people. Anyway, as you prepare for your journey to come to Africa, if you've made the decision to go to Africa, you know, I'm leaving this place because life here is so difficult. Whether it be America or Europe or wherever you are. There are some things that you're going to experience that is nothing like what you heard about. I mean, even if you watch, there are lots of videos about people from, not about, but from Africans and people called diasporans who show Africa is growing. You know, people are coming and building businesses and changing the face, you know, like you can go downtown Accra and it looks like New York, it looks like London, you know, it looks like any city in Europe. And while that's a good thing, it's also a bad thing, because what's happening is that they are building Europe and America in Africa, and they're calling it Africa. And that's bad, because then Africa, the identity of Africa is being erased. The only thing African about Africa then would be the name and the color of the people's skin. And you will see a couple of videos I put out last week about how they intend, the plans are drawn, and they are already building this city that's going to stretch across about 400 miles of the west coast of Africa, all along Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria. All of that is going to be one city, just like the east coast of New York or the west coast. But the Africa you know is not going to be the Africa that it's supposed to be. Keeping your identity is very important going into the future. And you will learn why. I'm not going to try to explain to you why. I will leave that for you to experience and learn for yourself. But one of the things that you won't hear about, or don't hear about, don't see, the people are singing praises about what's Africa becoming. You don't see it, you're not seeing. Well, let me tell you about it direct. You can walk through Accra and shoot, Nigeria. See, in Nigeria is even worse. Lagos. Well, actually any city. East Tanzania, Kenya is worse. I've seen. The poverty level has people, I don't know if you're familiar with my war, or it's the Vietnam War, where the level of poverty was such that you had, well, everywhere there's war it's like that. But welcome to the Philippines. Here they say mabuhay. Anyway, you will come out in the morning and go to the store or supermarket, and on your way there, you'll see the traffic is slowed. And when you get to the place where the traffic, just before the traffic speeds up again, you will see people in wheelchairs, asking for money. You'll go to any bank, any market, like see this store. In any state in Africa, in Ghana, Gambia, there will be about 5 or 6 women standing here, each one with from 1 to 5 children. 6 children I've seen. And from the time you step out of your car, or in the case of these tricycles, you step out of the tricycle, the children are all on you. Now I know you people are going to say, well, it happens everywhere in the world. But just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean you should do it. Somebody else's family is in the mafia, so you should be in the mafia too. Somebody else's family are thieves, robbers, murderers. Are you one of your family? You're going to give the excuse, well, this person do it, so my family can do it too. Why I'm saying this is because it is something that really stresses the heart. I am not kidding you. In my mind, it was painful. And in the beginning, I wanted to, I don't know, it's impossible to do anything about it. It's not possible to do anything about it. If I came there and well, let me see a situation I've been in. I have seen a woman walk from the turntable all the way to, I was stopping the turntable to buy groceries. An hour later, I'll go to traffic lights. This is in Gambia. And I see the same woman there. She walked all the way from turntable to traffic lights asking for money. Now, I don't know what happened, but 3 years later, going on 3 years, 4 years later, I'm seeing this lady in a wheelchair at traffic lights. And one day I see her get out of a wheelchair and get into a car. Put the wheelchair in a car. So what she was doing is coming out every day to get money, pretending to be handicapped. And I've seen that in other African nations. Like I said, Kenya is the worst. And in Kenya, the gangs bring out people. In Gambia too, I've seen people come out, drop off their handicap in a wheelchair. I've seen this young man, he dressed up in his Muslim garb, drop off this elder man at the supermarket. One of my videos, I got a comment asking me
what was going on in the street.
And I really didn't want to. I avoided answering the question, because how do you answer a question like that when you see 30, 40 people in the middle of the highway being pushed in wheelchairs, trying to collect money from motorists in a country where all the leaders issue themselves a brand new SUV for them and their family. SUV costs over 100,000. The biggest one with the biggest engine. And you have this going on, and it's going on right out in the open. You cannot miss it. They have to drive that way to and from their offices every day. Every governor, congressman, or senator, they have to see it. And nothing is done about it. I don't know how you will deal with this, but I hope that this is something that you will think about when you're going to come to Africa. Think about how you're going to deal with the poverty and the begging. It's in your face. Sometimes it can be embarrassing. I felt embarrassed. I said, this is my people. We shouldn't be doing this. With all the resources that we have, why are we doing it? But I begin to comprehend why it's happening. After living in Africa, after living in Africa and seeing it everywhere, after watching governments, beginning to read the newspapers and look at how things are done, how people act, what people do, how they treat each other, I begin to learn why it's happening and how it's being done. And it's being done deliberately. But anyway, think about it, because as you come to Africa, you're going to meet it. It's going to greet you. And like I said, everything in Africa is a transaction, but for the African it's a transaction. But for you, it is going to be a hurtful experience. Normally I don't walk doing my videos, but today I got out of the house and because I'm going here to the store. And as a matter of fact, as I was walking, I might say, you know what, this is a good thing to do right now. Maybe your head will be able to conceive of a way how to speak about it. All right, now there it is. Peace. Have a great day wherever you are.